This week is packed with earnings from lots of companies, but there's two in particular that I actually want to show you guys today. Come on in, let's talk about it. What's up, everyone? This is the Real Mark Cruz, and I'm here to keep it real with you on the things that matter the most, like your money, your mind, and your time. But before I get started, I always have to say I am not a financial advisor, okay? I'm just some dude on the internet. Everything that you see here is for education and entertainment purposes only. Okay, so the first company I actually want to talk to you about is PayPal. Their ticker symbol is PYPL, and they're one of the biggest payment processing brands on the planet. They've been around for quite some time, and you could use them on eBay, a ton of sites, and now even in certain stores. They also offer credit lines. They've brought a bunch of brands, and they're actually dipping their toes into crypto. But before we get started, in terms of a lot of things I think you guys should look into because of all these new things that they have going on, let's pull up the Webull app so we can see sort of what the price did today. So let's actually pull that up here. And as you can see, today PayPal opened up at $265.06, and they actually closed at $259.09. So in terms of the percentage, it was down about 1.22%. Nothing too crazy, but it's a pretty decent day. In terms of where they've been, they actually had a 52-week high of $309.14. So they're a ways off from that. Okay, so let's look deeper into PayPal. All right. So pulling up tip ranks, as you can see here, PayPal actually has a market cap of over 304 billion with an average volume of 8.72 million. In terms of the analysts, they polled 33, and out of those, 29 consider it a buy and 4 consider it a hold, which is giving it a strong buy. In terms of the price targets, they're thinking on the high end, it's going to be at $375. In the mid-range, $310.68, and on the low end, around $241. In terms of the technicals, over the last 12 months, it's actually up over 113%. Okay, so now that we got the numbers out of the way, let me actually bring up a few points that you guys should keep in mind, right? Right now, PayPal is doing great because they're actually expecting their quarter one earnings to be high because they actually dealt a lot with PPP loans. They had a lot more usage because of stimulus checks and people buying things. And throughout the pandemic itself, e-com has been through the roof. So, a lot of sites use PayPal. So they're expecting their numbers to be great. They also recently rolled out the ability for US users to buy and sell crypto like Bitcoin and Ethereum. At the same time, they're a highly recognized brand in the payment processing community. So people have a lot of trust built in to PayPal. What else? Right now, they also offered, as you can see on their site, let me move here too. They now offer this thing called Pay in 4. I guess that's the actual name. It reminds me of QuadPay, which is like one of those things where when you're going to check out and if a site supports it, you're able to split the total into 4. And according to their rules, it's saying here that PayPal is available and split. It says PayPal Pay in 4 is available and it will split your payment into 4 interest-free payments, one every 2 weeks. So it gives you a longer time to pay down whatever the balance is for whatever you're buying here. Like I said too, now they offer crypto, which is pretty neat. It's actually a really big deal because, as you guys know, crypto right now, for most coins, is actually going through the roof. And literally, as I'm recording this, I'm getting a ton of alerts about Dogecoin. It's actually hitting about 45 cents right now, which is fantastic. So if you want to actually see what Dogecoin is, check out the video above, or wherever I place it. But yeah, anyway, so moving on. At the same time, I'm not sure if you guys are aware, but PayPal owns the Venmo brand. And Venmo is actually being used a lot more now. People are, coming around to it as, it's a real easy way to pay people, whether you owe for dinner or, bills or whatever. And Venmo now, too, offers crypto trading. So all of these wonderful things are actually taking place for PayPal. In terms of my concerns, though, recently eBay, they actually, because before PayPal was their predominant or their primary payment processor, right? eBay now is actually rolling out their own eBay payment portal thingy, their processing solution or whatever, right? Which you can still use PayPal there, but eBay now is putting theirs as your first choice. So eBay used to be PayPal's prime. It used to be their primary source of income, and now, I mean, granted, they still make a lot of money off of them, but it's not their number one driver now, because now they're not used as your number one choice. So I think that's going to affect them in terms of the amount of money that they're going to pull in. At the same time, one of their biggest direct competitors is Square's Cash App, which, it does a lot of the similar things that Venmo does. And, as for me, I actually prefer Cash App. It's actually quick, it's easy, it's no drama, I love it. But, Cash App is actually offering a lot more things too. Like you can actually trade stocks now, crypto, and a bunch of stuff. So, my concern there is, will the PayPal app in itself start to add more things to make it more than just, a thing to pay? Are you going to be able to do more things that would match what Cash App is doing? That's something to keep in mind too. At the same time, PayPal in the past, they've been really funny with holds and, putting holds on your account. If you're selling, you're making too much money, or they have these thresholds that they want you to kind of reach or whatever. And it's really, and I mean, from my experience, it's really unpredictable, right? So my concern is, since they've had those types of issues in like the past, are they going to be able to, pull these holds for crypto trading too? Because that's the last thing anyone needs, Well, no one wants to not be able to trade or to buy, to sell crypto coins at any time, just because, they'll, PayPal might just feel the need to, lock you out of your account or whatever the hell it is. So that's a real concern. So in terms of what I think PayPal right now, regardless if you get in now or whatever, it's I mean, it's one of those stocks that, like, regardless of when you get in, it's definitely a good long-term stock to have in your portfolio, regardless. They've been around for quite some time, so it's actually a good long-term stock, and at the same time, it could be great, specifically because of the earnings on May 5th. So I think either way you decide to play it, PayPal's a good call. So check it out. All right, so the next company I actually want to talk to you guys about is Rocket, and their ticker symbol is RKT. Their earnings call is also on May 5th. And if you're not familiar, Rocket, the company, they have a lot of, sub brands like Rocket Mortgage, Rocket Loans, Rocket Homes, whatever. But predominantly, the mortgage one is probably the one most people are familiar with. And Rocket has actually had quite a little bit of a interesting journey as of late. But before we get into all of that, let's actually pull up the Webull app. All right, so looking at Rocket, for today, they actually were up about 0.22%, so nothing to, sing home about. But one of the things that I actually wanted to show you guys was, if you look back, I believe it was March the 2nd. Let's go back here. Yep, here it goes. So on March the 2nd, you can see it had a crazy run up, right? To the point where during the regular market hours, it actually reached $43. And that actually, that took place for a couple of things, but one, they had an earnings call, I believe that same day. And at the same time, the stock was heavily shorted, and the Wall Street bets community was all over this thing, right? So that's actually the whole point I'm bringing this up, is because although the short interest in the stock right now isn't too crazy, I'm using this as a almost as an idea as to what could potentially take place now, considering what happened the last earnings call. So anyhow, let's actually pull up the TipRanks app and we'll look more into it. Okay, so looking at TipRanks, you can see here that Rocket actually has a market cap of over 44 billion, and their average volume is over 18 million. It's about 18.40 to be exact. In terms of the analysts, they polled 10, and out of the 10, 7 consider it a hold and 3 consider it a buy, which is giving it a moderate buy rating. They're guessing on the high end, they're projecting it to be $33. In the mid-range, $26.50, and on the low end, $23. So in terms of a few talking points that I have in regards to the company, right now, as you may have heard all over the news and everything, the market right now in terms of housing, it's in this ridiculous boom right now, to the point where it's really hard to buy homes, and the homes that are for sale, the prices are through the roof, and that there's not a lot of available homes. So the demand is through the roof. So what I think is a really good thing is, clearly, a lot of what they do revolves around homes for the most part. So And because there's a lot of demand for homes and a lot of demand for mortgages, I think that's going to be it's going to continue to be a really big factor as to how and why I think the stock is going to continue to grow. Um, at the same time, clients always rave about its ease of use. I actually never used them myself, which I should have when I bought my house. But at the time, I was just so stressed. I just was really focused on getting a house. And I totally forgot to look them up. But from what I hear, and not only from people that I know, but from a lot of reviews that I read, it's actually pretty easy to use them compared to going the traditional route. So, of course, that's always going to help them in the marketplace. Um, like I mentioned before, on March the 2nd, they had that crazy run. So the fact that it got as high as it did because of all the factors that were at play, although, right now, a lot of those things aren't the same in terms of the short interest or any of that. Right now, the Wall Street Bets community could potentially be eyeing this thing out. And if that was an indicator in terms of what happened the last time, I'm kind of, leaning on the side that, all like, even though it may not reach, $43 or anywhere near that again, I think we're clearly going to see some sort of jump because of the earnings call. So you definitely want to keep that in mind. My only concern, and there's really not that many in terms of this brand because this is a pretty stable, solid brand. My only concern is that the last time when it shot up so quickly, it fell just as fast. So if this is a trade you're looking to get into, I say, just be very careful because you could probably make, quick money on the way up, but I wouldn't hold that particular trade for a long time. I would just, make that pull out. And then if you see this as a long-term stock, which I do regardless, now would be a good time to get into it. So it's up to you guys, of course, but I just wanted to share that with you. Okay. Well, that's what I have for you guys today. What do you think about PayPal and Rocket? Do you consider them long-term plays, short-term plays, or are you just going to sit these out? Wherever you stand, please let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear what you guys think. Also, don't forget to like, subscribe, and of course, share this with someone who might benefit from this information, okay? If you'd like to get in on the trading train, please use my Webull link in the description below to get 2 free stocks after you deposit your first $100. Now, with all that being said, my friends, keep your heads bright, your wallets tight, and grab your dreams like it's your right. Peace.